What is going on, guys? Judo Sloth here, and welcome to today's Clash of Clans video. We are going to be looking at Town Hall 9 Bowler Magic. We're going to be showing you a bunch of 3-star attacks using the bowlers in the CC, and at the very end I have one of the most impressive lavaloon attacks you will see at Town Hall 9 without the bowlers, guys. So there is plenty of strategies where the bowlers are not needed. I did do a separate video on this not too long ago, but this one showcases attacks using the bowlers, and they're all from the YouTuber war, Team Judo versus Team Klaus. And what's interesting is that this war was basically won at Town Hall 9 level. These guys were amazing, pretty much won us the war. Lord Byron of One Hive stepping up with the 6-pack. Obviously there were a bunch of Town Hall 9s that just cleaned up. In the first 2 hours they were all cleaned, and well, let's get into this attack. We've kind of missed a lot of it, but I really like how he jumps to both expo compartments, created that funnel with the wizards on the outside, and the golems just provided enough tankage for them wizards to continue moving through the base and taking out the defenses along the way. And you can see how valuable the bowlers were in the middle. And jumping through the base like that, especially to them expo compartments, allowed him to just, you know, crush it, in other words. Using that balloon at the end to sneak onto that little bit of a Tesla farm really wasn't going to trick Lord Byron. He crushed this, as he did with his other attack, so massive congrats to him. Let's move down to the next one, which was Hog Rider's Cleric Dragoon there of YouTube. Make sure to go and check out his channel. This war was obviously stacked with YouTubers and content creators, all of the guys from over on Twitch. Again, a massive thank you to the Twitch streamers who provided a 24-hour stream. Now this one's very interesting because it really does show the value of the bowlers. 4 golems for this base, but that provides tankage for the bowlers to get right the way through. Now just check this out. As they come forward, obviously we have some wizards in there as well, but the bowlers can be protected right the way through the base. The jump spell provides access to that far end of the base, and we do have Hog Riders kind of for the point defense on the back end here, where there is quite a bit of damage coming in at all angles towards the bowlers. That is obviously why we have 4 golems though. As they move through, the CC gets poisoned, it goes down, the bowlers are still very much alive. Look at all of the defenses at the back here. Just great in order to sneak in the Hog Riders once they are distracted in the middle. From either side, it kind of brings you back to when the good old days of when wars first came out, and we first started these hybrid armies with back-end balloons and Hog Riders. I love that era of Clash of Clans when we were just initially kind of clocking these 3-star strategies, because 2 stars had been the way for much of the game prior to Clan Wars being introduced, which was 4 years ago. It is crazy to think that. I'm digressing, guys, which I tend to do in videos. You need to keep me on track here. Drop a comment down below and let me know. But let's move on to the next one. This one by Arthur, using again the Hog Rider attacks. We do then have a Witch attack followed by that lavaloon, which I was talking about. The lavaloon not using the balloon, the bowlers not using the balloons. What kind of attack would that be? Not using the bowlers, but again, it was just too good of an attack not to show you. So initially using that golem just to help tank, create the funnel, get the wall breakers in, to allow him to come into this compartment. Takes out the CC and Queen, and obviously a huge amount of defenses. Anyone that saw the Town Hall 10 video from this war yesterday will have seen the Hog Rider attacks. It's very similar in the setup at Town Hall 9. It's creating that funnel, it's taking out key objectives, circling the Hog Riders around from there. And the bowlers just help you to get that little bit deeper into the base. They've kind of fizzled out at this point, but the job is done in terms of the kill squad, in terms of taking that out. Hog Riders continue to move around the base in just such a massive group. Could have equally split them up on this one as well, because they do digress a little bit as they get into the middle. They kind of split up. It's a little bit more difficult to use the heal spells effectively, but they do come back together, and he uses the heal spells in the right spots basically, guys. Right where them wizard towers are, right where them splash damages are. So many hogs left over, it's unreal. There was no way this wasn't going to be a 3-star attack. Has the cleanup troops as well that he puts into this area where there's so little health on the storages, but the hog riders would have took extra time to get back to. So that is the bowlers in action with hog riders. Actually, I think we have one more attack with the bowlers, which is the witch attack. Sorry, I'm looking at my little crib sheet I did beforehand here. Obviously scouted all of the attacks to see what we wanted to bring you guys. This one I just feel demonstrates the bowlers nicely. You've seen it a bunch of times, the witch slap style strategy. Obviously there's a few different ways to use the witches at Town Hall 9, but they are very, very effective. And they're effective because you can just flank down either side and keep your main portion through the middle. So some people do like to put a few witches through the middle as well, but really the bowlers are what provide the damage through the middle of the base. The witches kind of take out the perimeters. The skeletons will obviously continue to spawn and move forward, taking out the buildings on the outside, whilst the witches shoot over onto the defenses. And you can sneak some healers in there as well if they're out of the way of the air defense. But again, a couple of switches do switch into the middle. Some people like to actually put them in there, but it wasn't really needed in this one, to be honest. The bowlers move through the base, and the spells are used with the bowlers. You don't need the spells on the outside of the base, because what you need is the bowlers to hollow out the core, as they do very successfully. Now, what you do not want is them getting caught up. So you need bases where you can jump right the way through that. You can see the jump spell in the middle here provides access right to them far compartments. The queen is able to get in there. Healers actually quite nicely swap over to the queen and the bowlers, who continue to do work. And as you get to this part of the raid, it just about looks, this tends to happen with the witches, just about looks like it could kind of go either way. Is it going to fizzle out? And then all of a sudden, the defenses start dropping, the witches are able to spawn more skeletons, and all of a sudden, looking at it now, what is that, 20-second difference? Well, there's no defenses left, granted, but you get the idea. The raid just flips kind of one way or the other, and a lot of the time you will find that the witches just are able to spawn them extra skeletons and get through in order to help you get that 3-star attack. Even swagged the queen ability for that one. Let's move on to that lavaloon, which I just thought was fantastic. And the reason I thought it was fantastic was the ingenuity of the queen charge. Only 5 wall breakers, but just watch, guys. I really just love seeing different things like this, seeing people that have really adapted strategies to the base itself. And when you see that happen, that is what always makes a beautiful attack for me. So as you can see, the king creates a funnel right up to the north with the wizards, and the queen is going to go into that base itself. So a couple of wizards just stop her from veering down the side here, and then in come his wall breakers. He only wants to get through this initial compartment, and the rage spells again are used to help them through that, because the defenses could have quite easily taken out the wall breakers there, and it might have been raid over. Obviously the rage spell was needed for the queen anyway, so again combine the two. Now check this out, guys. 4 wall breakers. I'm ruining the commentary. What is wrong with me? 4 earthquake spells provide that queen with access to just about everything. She's going to walk through that base itself, take out the king, and look at what he's opened with them earthquake spells. It's just brilliant. It was, in my opinion, a fantastic bit of ingenuity, and the lava hounds now have pretty much nothing to do. The balloons are able to come in, take out the point defense on the outside very, very effectively, whilst the queen continues to step up, take out them defenses. I mean, it's just an annihilation of the base. The haste spells finally start coming in to help them balloons, but it's not really needed. The queen with the healers is going to continue to charge through the base here. So many balloons left in order to take down these in order to take down these defenses. Obviously a lot of spell capacity used on that earthquake, but it allowed the queen to get through. She's taken out the rest of these defenses, and look at the amount of balloons left over. That is where you can really customize things to the base itself, and I thought that was a beautiful, beautiful attack. I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed the YouTuber war. I've been your host, Judo Sloth, and until next time, peace out, guys.